I gotta clean my carbs. So this is where gasoline comes in. Goes into what I say is 2, which is the bottom, and 1, which is the top. And this connects here to synchronize the butterflies. So next thing I'll do is open up the holes right there and right there. So next I'm pulling these plugs. I'm just going to clean it out. These things are great, man. You can just take them apart, clean them out. Little brass. What in the world? And you can see it's pretty gummed up. It's a little brass fitting. And there's supposed to be some holes that lets fuel through there. So they're clogged up. I'll just go throw it in some gum out. I mark these. Do your carburetors one at a time. When you're done, you have to remark them because all the carb cleaner, sorry I put it this way, all the carb cleaner will take the numbers off, and then you can number them however you want to number them, 1, 2, 3, middle, top, bottom. Just using permanent marker, mark them, clean them, remark them. That way you don't get messed up. Do one at a time, and then they'll all go back together the way they should. So that comes up. This is where the float is, and this carburetor's been sitting for quite a while, I would imagine. So we'll take that one off, and should just come right off there. Just kind of gently tap it, maybe. Try not to pry it, anything like that. Alright, so got that off. Just got to get a little rubber mallet and kind of keep knocking on it, and it'll come loose. Long time that fuel's been sitting there. Anyway, so here's your float. We'll just have to measure the float and make sure it's still good, but we can just clean it. So we're going to remove this gasket. Just going to try to do it where I don't damage the float. Alright, so you can see I've cleaned my carburetors, and so a couple special notes I want to make about that. When you clean them, like the outside, what I did for the outside was I just took some diesel fuel and a toothbrush, and I cleaned them, and it cleans up pretty good. And then once you do that, then just take some gum out cleaner, spray it down, another toothbrush, and clean them. Clean the inside. You can be as methodical as you want to be. You want to take this plastic piece off so that you don't damage the plastic piece because of the gum out. Most of the float inside, there aren't any plastic pieces. Most of it is pretty, it won't hurt it. If you did some industrial carb cleaner, you might hurt it, but not with gum out. Anyway, clean them up pretty good. I have an air compressor. If you don't have an air compressor, you can use a can of compressed air. You're going to need a couple cans, though. And you blow it out. Blow every little hole you can find. Especially right here is where the choke is. So notice this is where the choke mechanism will come in. And on top, you see that little hole. and that's how it chokes off air. And so the way that kind of works is I have my choke arm. If you notice the choke arm, it's got little holes. There's a little hole on that side, this side, and so it just turns inside that hole. I don't know if I can show it very well, but it turns inside that hole, and this is open, no choke, and then it'll turn up. I'm sorry. I've got it upside down. So that would be full choke. This is open, choke. And you notice that there's no hole there, but there is a hole there. So when it's up, air is flowing through it. When it's down, there's no air flowing through that little hole. Okay, I want to show to make sure the float level is correct. So if we look at the book, it shows 11/16 of an inch from the bottom of the base of this to the top of the float. So I used my little handy dandy thing here, set it to 11/16, and then you just want to check and make sure that this float is right at the bottom of 11/16. So you can see mine is. If it's not, then what you want to do is underneath here, you want to bend this little deal until you have that kind of clearance. And if you look, right here is your needle valve. And that'll open or close. So this just pushes down on the needle valve, opens and closes. Anyway, that's how you set your needle valve. Alright, so one of the things that I did after I cleaned up my carburetor is the needle jet, which is under here, and I showed how we adjusted that distance for the float, is to check it. And the way to check that is to simply blow on the inlet. So if it's down right now, that means that this is full of gas and the needle should be closed, making sure that it doesn't allow any fuel back into the bowl. So you can do that by blowing on the seat. And you can tell there's no air coming out. But if we take this and we flip this upside down and then we allow the fuel to enter into the chamber, you should be able to blow on this, and then you'll hear air blow through. Now notice you can hear the difference between the air entering or not entering. So that needle's good. We don't need to replace that needle. I did get my gasket set in, and this top gasket here will go on top of here, and then this gasket will go right here. There's a ring here, that gasket right there on the bottom here. That one will go on the bowl or the inlet jet, and it'll go right there. The little copper one is not needed on this bowl. completely clogged. It's got to be fixed. Clean as a whistle now. They did zip ties, but